Hello, teacher. Good afternoon. My team, formed by my classmates Javier Águila, Luis Mejía, Citlali Escareño, and me, Efraín Arias, we're going to talk about the Geneva Convention. Also, you know as the Geneva Rights. It is a set of for international agreements that regulate human international law with the purpose of the protecting victims of the armed conflict. This convention have undergone various updates. The first convention, this convention consisting in 1640 articles, protects the wounded and sick of the armed forces during on the wartime. It establishes that this convention should be respected even if one of the conflict powers isn't part of it. This implies that there is a negotiation on the powers part that isn't in the convention, so they may or may not accept and they apply the provisions. The first convention also protects the members of the armed forces who have laid down the armaments or are out of the combat due to health reasons. For example, the photo the left is a military, two militaries. One military is a unit medicals. Another military is laid down for health reasons. This convention is defend the participants from the begin taking an hostage and or humiliate. In the second photo is humiliating other militaries, as well as their executions, kills, and any other harm to their integrity. Failure to complete with the convention resulting in legislative sanctions for those who commit serious infraction, such as the murder of protected parties. Finally, it is responsible for protecting and safeguarding the life of the wounded and sick. For example, medical and regulus persons, medical units, for example, these photos, medical units, and medical transport.
The second convention, consisting of the 63 articles, protects the wounded, sick, and shipwrecked members of the armed forces at sea during armed conflict. It replaced the first convention due to its adaptation to maritime warfare, incorporating all the provision of Convention 1 in terms of structure and content, with the adaptation of articles specifically applicable to naval warfare. It safeguards hospital ships and contains a model of identity card for medical and religious people, granting the powers the right to demand from any warship the surrender of the wounded, sick, or shipwrecked on board military hospital ships. Appropriate measures will be taken for those who are wounded to case participating in armed conflicts, and they will be provided with hospitalization at the expense of the corresponding power. All participants in the armed conflict must have identification so that their identification is clearer in case of death or lines.
The next convention it is convention number 3. In this convention, the 1929 Convention on Prisoners of War was replaced. It consists of 142 articles, expanding the categories of individuals entitled to prisoner of war status. The condition and place for capture were defined more precisely, as well as matters relating to the work of prisoner of war, their financial resources, the assistance they are entitled to receive, and legal proceedings against them. It established that prisoners of war must be released and reparted without delay after the cessation of armed conflict. It specifically states that prisoners of war are under the power of the enemy power and not those who capture them. So the power is responsible for the treatment they receive in case the enemy power fails in these obligations. A request for the return of the prisoners and remedy to the situation must be made, with the condition of complying with the request.
The fourth convention consists of this final convention incorporated civilians and protect individuals, but why were they included only in this convention? Well, following the events of the Second World War, the disastrous consequence of the lack of a convention protecting civilians during wartime became evident. Therefore, as a result of this bitter experience, the convention was updated, constituting it with 159 articles. To clarify, millions of people had to go through concentration camps like the one in the image, so that a genuine concern for the civilians arose, preventing this massacre from being repeated in the future. Continuing next, most of the rules in this convention pertain to the status and treatment that must be provided to the protected people. Distinguish between the situation of foreigners in the territory of one of the conflict parties and the of civilians in occupied territories. It defines the obligation of the occupying power regarding the civilian population and includes specific provisions about the humanitarian aid that the civilian population of occupied territories is entitled to receive. Additionally, it establishes a specific regimen regarding the treatment of civilian internees. In the color image, we can visual people being guided and protected with armed force despite being in country power, they deserve dignified treatment and protection. In conclusion, the Geneva Convention stands as testament to these international communities commitment to upholding humanitarian values even in the midst of the most trying circumstances, armed conflicts. These four conventions evolving through time provide a comprehensive framework for safeguarding the lives and dignity of those affected by war. These conventions are not mere legal documents, but living expressions of the global community's dedication to preserving human life, dignity, and respect, even in the darkest hours of conflict. The Geneva Convention reminds us that amid the chaos and brutality of war, there is still room for compassion, empathy, and a comment to the sanctity of human life. We hope this information has been interesting to you, although it may not always seem like it. Morality and care for human life are indeed present in wars.